Aloha Cousins, Briar 626 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 decks for the Bakugan PRO TCG in the year 2021 here, and see what were the top decks this year, and see if they can even go into the new year of 2022, and see if they're still as good as they are. Now, if you enjoy this video, make sure you click that like button down below, and if you're new, go ahead and click that subscribe button and become a cousin in our family, and make sure you click that bell icon so you get notified of videos just like this one here, because we're going to be also going into the new year, seeing all the new Bakugan product and seeing what type of decks are going to be very competitive in that year. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. So now let's go on ahead and check out the decks. So before we start into these decks here, I just want a disclaimer that this is my personal opinion on the top 5 decks for this year of the 2021 format, as well as there is no particular order that these decks are coming in. They're just going to be going into an order that I think are my favorite decks this year, and I've really kind of like and played with and seen a lot of success with, and that's just the way I'm going to be kind of showing you what my top 5 decks are. Now, there are some little rules to this that I did not put into these decks here. There is, number one, the first deck that is hands down probably the best deck in the game is not on this list. It's because a lot of the tournaments are banning this deck because it's that good of a deck. It's an FTK deck, which is a first turn knockout, and that's going to be Sleepy Halacore FTK. I am not including that on my list. It is the best deck. It's like tier 0 on how strong that deck is. If you do want to see that deck, I do have a video up on it on the channel here. Just click the card in the top right. So that is not going to be in this list, as well as the heroes from the blind boxes, the Insta Brawl heroes like Magnus Power Hungry, Leah Common Collected, and Wenton Supercharge. Those are not going to be in this deck because any deck with those cards in there are practically going to be top tier. Those cards are hands down probably the best hero cards of all time, and they're not going to be included in the deck, and they're very hard to come by. So there's only been like a selective few people who even have these cards, so we're not going to be including those in the decks here. But other than that, let's go on ahead and check out these decks. So the first deck we have is DFD Heroes. That is Darkfire Defense Heroes. This deck is all about bringing out Darkfire Defense. It is a 99 damage card that's a Bahu gear that you can equip to your Bakugan and gives him 99 damage. Yes, you heard me correctly, 99 damage. It is an insane card to have out on the field and bring in onto your Bakugan, and if you win the brawl, you deal 99 damage. That is a lot to stop. If they don't have a flip card that can stop your Bakugan, you're going to knock them out completely. And of course, this is just a busted card, and it's a gear that's a 7 cost. Now, this deck didn't really play a lot of gear reduction cores like you normally would, so you have a lot of ways to kind of cheese it out. The biggest one is going to be Dankuzo. You'll be using Dankuzo to help cheese out the card by whenever you open, you look at the top card, and you can decide to either play it or leave it on top of the deck, and it's absolutely insane. This is just a good, easy way to help get out DFD. And of course, as well, since this is a hero build, you're going to be playing with a lot of different Bahu heroes, and the main one you really want to play with this is going to be, of course, Leah from Age of Orlis. Now, this one is, of course, very, very good to being able to open. Whenever you open your Bakugan, you look at the top 3 cards, and then you get to see pick one of the hero cards out of those 3, if there are any, and you get to play it for free. And then the others will go back on top of the deck in the same order that they were first picked up in. So this is an insane card just to being able to dig for your heroes, because you have like Everett Ray to give you plus 400. You have like Magnus on the Run to help you discard cards. You have Shargo to give you an extra 100 B power. You got Lightning to help give you more damage. You have insane good cards in this deck, and the hero deck is usually been played quite a bit. You see a lot of really big decks come out with heroes, but this one seems to be the best one just because you have access to DFD and damage wins, and it just has a very good balance, and as well as the Bakugan lineup is insane. Of course, this year really introduced a lot of very big powerful cards like the Geogon like Hyenix, which is really good card. It's a 1 cost to basically steal one of your opponent's Bahu cores. And then you also have like Darkest Fenneca Ultra, which I think is the best Bakugan this year that came out in the year 2021. I think this is hands down the best. It has double core potential, so it picks up 2 cores. It has a Helix and a Fire Fist that it comes with naturally. And giving it, if you give it that Fire Fist of 6 damage, it will basically put it at 10 damage base, which is absolutely insane. And if your other team has like more Fire Fist or Magic Shields, you can even do even more damage, like the if you get another plus 6 damage, which this deck does run 2 6 damage cores, this will be at a base of 16 damage. Yes, 16 damage. That's insane. So you can go on ahead and get a damage win off with this, and then adding that with DFD is absolutely insane. You can do that. And then as well, if you decide you don't want to go the damage route, you can literally play Darkest Fenneca with a Magic Shield and a Helix, and it will hit 2150, which that's like a whole lot. That is insane amount of B power. I think that's the highest B power base or base quote on a Bakugan if you land on cores. That is absolutely insane. No evolutions, nothing, no fusion. This is like the best Bakugan in my opinion. And of course, another Bakugan, of course, they introduced was Geoforged Dragonoid. This is the first time Bakugan with the metal plating or a metal body, the ball, is in this game, which is really cool. But this one has a little issue with landing on cores sometimes. So you got to be very careful and know how to properly roll it, or you can just be aggro rolling and just hit your opponent's Bakugan with this Bakugan and it's going to knock it down. But you're mainly playing this to get that Magic Shield for Fenneca, as well as that Fire Fist, and if he lands on it, plus the 10 to 12 damage basically is what you'll be at for base, which is also insane for damage wins. So this deck is one of the best hero decks out there, in being able to focus around DFD to help get that damage, because you're already at high B power numbers. This damage is going to help you out. Now, going into the second deck is going to be Vestoryers. Now, this is a deck that's been very powerful when it kind of came out, or not really powerful actually, when it came out until the player Greg from NerdyFriends came out with it and kind of just dominated his locals with it. And won a lot of little local tournaments with this deck. It is absolutely insane. You basically bring out Vestoryers, which is a 7 cost gear that has Victor Draw 1, plus 2 Frost Strike and Shadow Strike. So if you can bring this out, you're literally going to be winning with this. And also has 9 GB power, 9 damage, which is also really good. It's an insane card to pull off. You bring it off, put it onto your Bakugan, you get the 909, you get to, if you win, you get to draw that extra card for next turn so you can help get your next Bakugan rolling, and then you also get 2 Frost Strike and Shadow Strike, so they can't use flips to stop this attack, and they can't reduce the B power or damage of this Bakugan. So it is an insane card to bring out, and of course you can actually bring it out with turn 1 with Arlis Nilius Ultra here. You double core onto some gear reduction cores like the Fire Fist and the Green Fist to help give you damage and B power. And then you, of course, can use like Super Fuel to help re-roll your Bakugan. And you've got Power Ritual to help give you more whenever you have the most core, or you have cores, you gain an energy for each core you have. And you just keep going until you're able to bring out that Vestroyer card turn 1. So you could be doing either around the 16 to almost like 20 something damage on turn 1. So you're cutting their deck in half if you basically win, and they can't stop it because it's turn 1 and you have 2 Frost Strike on it, so you literally only have 1 energy for them to use. So it is going to be like a guarantee 15 plus damage with this card. It is absolutely insane and a very powerful turn 1, and it's very consistent as well. Even if you can't pull it off turn 1, you still most likely will win that turn 1 just because of the other cards you have in here. Like you have Glimmering Glaive that you can be playing, grabbing another core. You have Pyrostorm to help like set up different cards in case if you need to do different things. You have like a bunch of different possibilities. Fire Launch to help give you energies. Stoic Shot to help you draw more cards. The consistency in this deck is absolutely fantastic. and it is extremely good as well, and it's definitely one you really don't want to face off against. But that is, of course, the Vestoryers deck. Alright, so going into our third deck here is going to be Surp Burn. Now, this card came out back in Bakugan Resurgence. This was a very cool card. A lot of people wanted to build decks with it when this Evo was pretty much revealed. And it is an absolutely insanely powerful Evo where you open on a Fire Fist, you get to burn 5 damage or deal 5 damage to your opponent. So they have to take the top 5 cards of their deck, put it into the discard, and that's it. And they can try to stop it, but then why would you stop it? Because it's only 5 damage, and then if you win, they have to take even more damage. So it's really, really powerful, just being able to consistently burn for 5 damage. And of course, you may be like, oh, that's only one time. No, your whole deck is based around re-rolling. You literally are going to be trying to play Hyper Serpentine for free, either with like a super fuel ability from Song of Fire or Fire Launcher, and then you also have Dan to help play those cards for free, and you have Bahu Treasure to help dig you cards, and you have a bunch of other rerolls. Liquid Fire Plate to help whenever you open, you get to draw 1 card so you can keep replenishing to get those rerolls, as well as Pyro Storm to help find those cards you need, those combo pieces going in. And as well as this deck, you can start off with Aqua's Exilitar Epic Character card, and at the start of the game, you get to draw an additional card. So instead of starting off after you draw for the turn for 6 cards in your hand, you're now starting off with 7 cards in your hand. So you can dig through your deck even more than what you really normally could be. It's an absolutely insane, and of course there's a bunch of different ways you can play it. This one here, of course, we have the Nihilus Ultra that only gives you 1 Fire Fist, which is kind of meh. I like having more Fire Fists, but it works out really well. Or you can play like the Arlos Hydronoid that gives you 2 Fire Fists. So now you have 3 Fire Fists in total to make sure Serpentine pretty much hits that Fire Fist every turn. But this is a very, very powerful deck, and it's definitely a scary one to come out, and it can come out like turn 2, turn 3. You can burn down your opponent's life. It is an insanely powerful deck, so just get ready to get your sunblock ready, because you're going to get burned with this deck if you see it out there. So going on to our 4th deck here is going to be the Fusion deck. Now this deck is based around using Fusion Bakugan and being able to just bring them out quickly and knocking your opponent out as quick as you can with these very strong, powerful Fusion Bakugan. Like the Dragonoid Treacherous here, the Chaos Pyrus Dragonoid Treacherous, being able to fuse for 3 energies, and then if you land on a magic shield that gives 800 to fusion, you'll be at 2000 B power. Yeah, 2000 B power. So straight up 2000, and then you have a bunch of different other cards that can help boost up his B power or do other insane things. And of course, you also have like the Hydronoid or Hydrus and Batrix here, the Pyrus version. And if you fuses on a Fire Fist, and boom, you get some big damage here. And it also has a Fire Fist of like +8 to fusion, which is insane, and you add it onto the 6, that is going to be 14 damage base here, and that's going to be even on turn 1. So if you can get a turn 1 like Mac or Midas Syndius, you can basically deal them literally like 14 plus damage. It is insane how much damage you can do even on turn 1 with this deck, but it is a very powerful, just bringing those fusions out as quick as you can, and just going in and going, cool, you can win by damage or by B power, like you have, of course, like the Midas Syndius in here, so you can play that in the Mac. You also have like a bunch of different other cards that could help give you like some more cores, like Holy Flame here, of course, Glimmering Glaive, because it is a very powerful one there, and if you need to, you do have, since you're running Ventus in the deck, you can use like Nature's Power or Moxify Cubble Beam to help bring down the B power of your opponent's Bakugan. It is an absolutely insane deck to play against, and it actually won a couple locals in Texas, and this deck was also played by Greg. Once again, another very powerful deck from Greg. He makes some amazing decks, and this is one of them. It is an insanely powerful deck, so you definitely want to check it out. And if you want to try out fusions, this is definitely the way to go. And there's also a bunch of other different fusions that you can use, and I know he's been in the works of making some, and I have been too, and we kind of been working together to see what other very powerful fusion decks are out there. So for our last deck here we have is going to be a core control deck. This deck is a very insanely powerful deck, being able to control who controls cores on the field. It is an absolutely crazy what you can do with this. You basically are going to try to activate Trifecta as quickly as possible, either by stealing your opponent's cores or double coring with Bakugan. And of course, the best double coring Bakugan to use is of course the Finica lineup. Of course, you got like the Darkest and the Ventus Finica in the deck here to help you get the double cores going off really quickly. So by turn 2, you already have Trifecta already being able to, because Trifecta works when you have 3 or more cores attached to your team of Bakugan. So you definitely want to try to get that Trifecta as quick as possible. And you're also trying to control your opponent's B power or damage in the deck. And this, I mean, there's been a lot of control decks out there, like the Kubo control with the hand discussion, the hand disruption, and you also got like some hero control. But this is probably the best control deck I have ever seen and played with as well, because it can handle damage wins, it can handle B power extremely well, and it can do really good, because you've got, of course, like Darkest Finica, like I talked about earlier, being able to hit the high damage rating, and you also have Hyenix here that can hit 10 damage, and another one is Viperagon. Now, Viperagon is a very cool Geogon that has a base of 10 damage, and if you land on like a Fire Fist of +6, it'll be 16 base for 2 energies. So which is an insane one. And if you have it comboed off with some other cards like Lightning, you can do some really cool stuff. And even with the card Energetic Decay to -5 damage off your opponent's Bakugan for 1 energy is really good, especially for those damage win decks, where you could be right at the edge and you're only 1 damage away, and you just need something Energetic Decay for -5 on your opponent's Bakugan, and that could win you that damage win battle. It is an insane type of deck, and you really need to know how to play the meta or know what decks are really out there playing against, because this can hit hard on most decks. It is an insanely powerful control deck, so if you want to play control, this is the way to play it. So those are the top 5 decks here in the Bakugan Pro TCG for the year 2021. These are insanely powerful decks, and definitely go try them out if you can. And even like if you want to try some different combo pieces, you're more than welcome to try those different cards out and see, because there's also going to be some possibly new cards coming out in the new year. So you definitely want to check and see what cards can work and what cards don't work in these decks, and see if they even could go up against in the year 2022, if they still can hold up to that power level, because I know there's some really cool Bakugan coming out that could even replace some of these Bakugans. So once again, all the credits to the deck builders will be down in the description below, so definitely go check it out and show them your support, because these are insanely powerful decks and they deserve a lot of credit to building these decks here. If you guys think I missed any on the top 5 list here, let me know down in the comments down below, or even let me know what is your top 5 list for these decks or any of the decks here in the year 2021 for Bakugan Pro. Let me know down in those comments down below, and let me know if you guys are going to try out these decks in the new year and see if they can hold up for the new year of 2022. Now remember, Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!